Tough.
Um,
Anywho, Steelers brought in Arthur Smith.
yeah, it's time. Need to hear the thoughts. Now, I think we both kind of, this has kind of grown on us a little bit.
Yeah, no,
We'll talk ourselves
100%.
into this a little, but this is a guy who we've talked so much shit on this
Oh,
show.
dude, my Christmas gift to them was that the Falcons would fire him. And, like, I was like, I hate this man. It's just so funny that that's how it happened. And
He ended
I
up at
just,
your doorstep.
I felt that the Steelers tweeted, we have like completed an interview with Arthur Smith for our OC job. And for some reason, once I tweeted that, I said, oh God, he's going to be our offensive coordinator. Like, that's just how the world, like, that's how the world works for me. Like, the things I don't want to happen.
I feel that.
So, like, the immediate reaction was like, you got to be kidding me. We went from Mad Canada to Arthur Smith. Like, this is terrible. And then after I had about, like, the 15 minutes of, like, Jesus, what the hell? Then you started thinking. Then you started researching. And honestly, dude, I think it's quite a great hire. Mostly because, yeah, his time in Falcons did not work. He's not a head coach. It happens. Don't think he's built for the head coaching role. We also shat on his ability not to use star players in Bijan and London and Pitts and all that. But I actually saw that the only player with more touches and catches than Bijan this year was Christian McCaffrey. Which is why, yeah. I have to, you know what? I think I need to get the stats for this now because I saw your reaction.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. Not that I don't believe you, but like that's nuts. It could have been a fake. I get got by them fake accounts all the time.
I don't know though. This guy
58 and 214, so that's 373, 273, I think, for Bijan.
And McCaffrey was in like the 300s.
Yeah, McCaffrey is like 3 1 oh gosh, math. Ugh, I'm getting on my calculator. This one's too hard to do. Yeah, 339. 272 carries, 67 receptions, and then Bijan was 214 and 58 receptions. So it's not like a crazy disparity, but like it is actually. No, that actually is 339 and then 214 plus 50. Yeah, I was right. 272. So it's like a 67 difference.
So, needless to say,
it's like 3 touch. It's a different. It comes out to 3.7 touches per game. So it's it's not like crazy, but it could make a difference.
I'm just like, but like mine isn't trying. I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm just saying
No,
the whole point was he got banged for usage, and I think it was a little bit because we were like it became like a sort of like trend at a point when everybody was like, "Yo, not this." Because I had Bijan on my fantasy team, and that boy at like towards the end of the year consistently like 15 points. Anyways, digress.
I will. One thing to that point. Tyler Algier is actually a decent backup running back, and so is Cordell Patterson. Like, they're not scrubs. So, like, Elijah Mitchell, like, he's kind of like Niners don't really have a backup. Like, he's all right, but like,
yeah.
To your point, like,
but yeah, but I like all I need to say, like, yeah, definitely worth and all that stuff. But Falcons were still like, I mean, I'm pretty like. Actually, I don't even want to talk about the Falcons. I think I'm going to drop the whole Falcons talk because that's head coaching. I think that's completely different. I think we should look at like Tennessee. He was top 10 in scoring when he was offensive coordinator in Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill. And I guess he had A.J. Brown there for it. And, of course, King Henry. People say he
D-Hop a little bit.
D-Hop. Well, no, did D-Hop for you're right. D-Hop I think for like, or did they? No, they got D-Hop this offseason.
Oh yeah, they did. Who was with AJ Brown? Didn't they have somebody else? Anyways, continue. I
But
didn't mean.
people say he was a. I saw a lot of troll Steelers accounts going like Henry Merchant, but Derrick Henry really didn't start getting on until Arthur Smith came around and was the offensive coordinator. You can look at the numbers. I ain't wrong. Um, so and then looking really at like what the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is, I mean, Darnell and Pat are like perfect for like Kyle Pitts. Think about like how much Arthur Smith used him in blocking. He has that man in Darnell Washington. We use Darnell Washington all year as basically an extra lineman. Um,
Dude's a fucking tree out
and
there,
then
man.
like Pat
He's
loves the
huge.
block, but he can also get catches, and he's all middle of field little curls and all that stuff, which is great. Najee is gonna be perfect. Like this man, every single year he's been with the Steelers has gotten 1,000 scrimmage yards. So I know no matter what offensive coordinator he has, he's still able to do it. Now we got Arthur Smith, who was able to make, Derrick Henry. People were talking about, not even best running back in the league. People were talking about MVPs in some conversations. So you got Najee. I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry, but damn near fucking close to Derrick Henry as you can get in Najee Harris. Plus, he has Jalen Warren, and the way he loved to use Algier. Like I'm okay with using both of them. I don't need a lead back like that. I think we have, besides the Lions with Gibbs and Montgomery, I think we have the best running back duo in the league. The only person I'm really worried a little bit with is George Pickens. How we're gonna get him involved, but the main reason that cooled me down of this hire is because of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin ain't gonna be like. There was a clip at the end of towards the end of the year where he was like, "Yo, GP, go make a play," and George Pickens made got a first down, pretty much ended the game. It ain't gonna be no Arthur Smith like doing some bullshit shit that he did in Atlanta. No, it's gonna be Mike Tomlin in his ear saying, "Hey, get this man the ball and let's win this football game." He's not
Exactly.
gonna have that much reins. So
Yeah.
that's what really calmed me down because I saw how much of a horrible season that he had in Atlanta. Um, but coming now back to a coordinator role of which you really excelled at with that Tennessee team under the discretion of Mike Tomlin, um, I feel great. And with that, talking about Steelers, I re-looked at our draft picks that Omar Khan had as his first GM for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hit on every single one besides maybe our 7th round pick. And they aren't all Brock Purdy, so I'm okay with missing on the 7th round pick. But every single one, maybe asterisks on Corey Trice, but you got Joey Porter, and now you got this young other rookie corner. It makes you feel a little bit easier about yourself going into the draft, where you don't have to, maybe reach on a corner because of that. But I'm just got to give praise to that. I think, I wanted, maybe a younger mind, kind of like an innovator and all that stuff. Arthur Smith may not be that, but I think as far as the personnel and how Steelers actually like to play the game of football, Arthur Smith is the perfect guy who has success and who is an outsider who isn't from Pittsburgh. So, as much as I hate the name, I love everything else about it.
Yeah, Arthur Smith, piece of shit. He was like the shit on the bottom of our shoe for like months
Dude,
here on the show.
yeah, dude.
He was
I literally hated that man.
I know. It's funny. It's funny how life works out sometimes. But no, it did become like a shtick at like halfway through. I think
Yeah.
just even like if he would do a little bit more of it, it still just wasn't enough. So it did become like a shtick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you make great points, and I agree with you on all of them. Najee is Henry Light. Like he's the closest thing you're getting to a Najee back, at least in the league right now. And yeah, Warren, another guy who's they'll
Down
definitely
to the
use.
dreadlocks, dog.
Yeah, literally, you don't see that many guys with dreads nowadays. Um,
He's
yeah,
also just massive too. But yeah, no, sorry,
yeah,
keep
just
going.
big, like bulky, north south. I like it, and yeah, you said it. He'll have Tomlin like as like looking over his shoulder the entire
Yeah,
time. So he's not gonna be on like fucking around. Like
yeah,
this is, and he knows it's like this is his like last chance too. Like maybe, but like
maybe, yeah.
he knows people are like talking down on him, so he's gonna want to prove something. I think a little bit too. See if Arthur has some
And,
dog in him. He's going to Pittsburgh, like he's got to have a little bit of
dude, I
dog.
mean, it's still a great team like to join. Because
Yeah,
offense
definitely.
really was the biggest thing. Like I just kept thinking about like anything is better than Matt Canada. So like as
That
much as
too.
I could be mad about like Arthur Smith for my own pesky reasons, it's not Matt Canada. And the whole reason why we couldn't win football games this year is because we couldn't fucking score points. And if Arthur Smith can just score even like an extra 3 points than we did this year, we're gonna like be even better. Like we might even win the North. And that's not even crazy to say because we swept the Ravens and we swept the Bengals. We only lost to the Browns this year. And if we probably win those Cardinals and Patriots game that really what shot us in the foot there. But we probably win those games. We have Arthur Smith instead of going through our quarterback coach. No offense to like Sullivan and all that stuff, but like you can't do much middle of the season. You get ready to offensive coordinator. You got Kenny hurt, Mitch sucks, and you got your third string Mason Rudolph in. Like I don't know. So it's good. It's good. It's better than Matt Canada. It's a good hire.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
I think I said to you too. I wanted somebody outside of Pittsburgh. Get somebody that has no connections at all to the 412 at all. And that's exactly like Arthur Smith. I don't even know where he's from, but I know for damn sure he never coached a single football game for a Pittsburgh team.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely. People where he's from. I'm actually curious.
Yeah,
But
I'm actually about to look at that because watch him like coach at like Pitt.
yeah,
Wait, before that, he was the defensive quality control coach for the Redskins in 2007. Allowed to say Redskins, they were Redskins. He stayed there to 2008. In 2010, he was hired as defensive intern and administrative assistant for Ole Miss, and then was the defensive quality control coach for the Titans under Mike Muniak. Then he was the all offensive quality control coach there. Then he was an assistant tight ends coach. Um, Still that. Then was the tight ends coach, and then he built himself up with Mike Vrabel as offensive coordinator. He replaced Matt LaFleur.
yeah,
So that's the other thing too about Arthur Smith. He's underneath that. I mean, call him, Matt LaFleur is under McVay. He's under that tree. It's a good tree to be
yeah,
under.
yeah.
And Vrabel as
Shanahan,
well.
Brady.
Like Vrabel, I mean, I know he's more of a defensive guy, but still, great mind to be
Yeah,
centered around football with.
totally.
So yeah, look at that. Just sort of as a quality control coach all the way up. That's what it is. I was talking to my stepdad about this. Sorry to I know you want to
No, you're
chat
good.
about somebody, but it's just so interesting that like it seems like once you get in to like the club of like football, like as like a coordinator or coach, like you're kind of like always in. Like we see
You
so
got to
many
suck.
coordinators with like people that like don't have as successful seasons. Like unless you're like Hugh Jackson and you go like 0-16, then like you don't get like a spot. But like if you go like look at Cliff, like he was the Cardinals head coach, sucked, went back to college, now he's back in the Raiders. It's just because you're in that football club.
Yeah, you got to suck to get kicked
You
out of the
really gotta
club.
suck.
You got to be really bad to get kicked out of the club.
Yeah,
Very few have been kicked out of the coaching club. Um, yeah, Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson being one of them.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, they bounce around. They bounce around, and I mean, most of it's because I mean these are like we shit on them, but they are like they got good minds. Like they are smart, most of them. I just think half their struggles they overthink stuff, which I'm a chronic overthinker, so I don't blame them, but like I think that's half of what it is. They just like
Yeah.
get out there and they're like, oh shit, like I think they just overthink stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arthur Smith, he's gonna be. What are we talking about him every week now? We talking about him
Steeler,
every week.
man. He's a Steeler.
Yeah,
It'll
he's
be
a
interesting to see what we do with quarterback now. I told you, I think Ronnie Tannehill is almost guaranteed a roster spot, and I think you gotta stick with Kenny. And then the third spot, I would like a young guy, but it's probably going to be Mason Rudolph, which I don't know. Like I love Mason, love brought us to the playoffs, but I don't know if I can watch you for a full season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.